Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today this is probably going to be a pretty short video. Then again, I do tend to ramble, so perhaps not. And it's just a 6-month check-in on how I'm doing on my Our Fantasy Bingo. It's a Reddit bingo board that they do every year from the start of April to the end of March. I've kind of always looked at the prompts and been like, I've probably done it. But I've never actually been like, okay, I'm going to tick them off and make sure that I actually do them. And this year I'm doing that. Or am I? Because I actually haven't really been checking this at all. So in April, I put up my Our Fantasy Bingo. I will leave that link down below, but we're kind of going to be not necessarily repeating a lot of it, but you're going to be seeing a lot of it. So you probably don't have to go rewatch that. So I'm going to put up my original bingo board. Now I'm going to show you the prompts I've completed. So yeah, obviously I did switch some books out because some I kind of just left blank, whereas now I've kind of added some books into those spots. So first I'm going to go through the prompts that I have finished. I'm not really going to give you reviews or anything. I've talked about most of these on my channel already. I'll mention videos that I talk about them in and maybe give you a brief, 1 or 2 sentences. But so first I have completed Under the Surface, and for that I went with Fathom Folk. And I will say I'm giving myself the hard mode, but is it actually completing the hard mode? I'm giving it to myself because I'm blaming the author, not me, because she would be writing a scene and then at the end of the scene you'd get to, and she'd mention that it was underwater the whole time. And you'd be like, wait, what? So I don't know how much of this book takes place underwater, and I'm not sure she does either. Actually, no, she's probably the only person who does, because it wasn't actually in the book whether they were underwater or not half the time. So I'm giving it to myself. I think I gave it a low 3-star. I was probably being generous. Didn't quite work for me. I have read this in a vlog. It was my Illumicrate reading vlog. I will leave that link down below. And overall, I hate the criticism, because it's usually female authors that get this criticism, that it felt YA. But oh boy, this book felt YA. And I was like, I hate that I'm doing this, that I'm being one of those people that's like, this is a YA book, but just with bad words. Then I also completed Criminals, which for this I read A Tempest of Tea, and the hard mode was Heist, which A Tempest of Tea does tick off. Again, another 3-star. Again, included in a vlog. I read it in my 2024 anticipated releases, part 1. So again, I shall leave that linked. And I feel very weird about her books, because they have this weird sense of nostalgia for me that make me really enjoy them, but also I have grown a lot out of YA, and this very much falls into a lot of those tropes and character dynamics and all of that. And so it doesn't I don't love it. I don't fully connect and just grasp onto these characters and be like, oh my god, I love them, like I would have if I read it when I was 16. But as I said, there's this weird sense of nostalgia from her writing that makes me want to keep reading her books. But I did give it a 3-star, and I did complete the prompt. Then Dreams, I did actually originally have Tyrant's Throne, but as I said, I haven't really actively been checking this to see if I've been reading books that I can cross off. And so by the time I checked, I couldn't remember whether Tyrant's Throne actually had dreams in it, normal dreams, which is the hard mode. So I know that there was definitely a magical dream in it, but I couldn't remember was there any just plain old normal dreams. Filled in this in with The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. That did just have a regular nightmare in it. Again, another book I gave 3 stars. Is there a theme going on? This is a sequel to The Bone Season, so it follows Paige. She's a clairvoyant. This is illegal, and she gets found out and captured and taken to this place where she learns a lot that people have been hiding from her. And this I enjoyed, but I felt it took until over halfway for I felt the story of this book to start. I think it was doing a lot to further the narrative of the series, but not necessarily for the book itself, which meant it kind of felt a little bit fillery. It is prologues and epilogues. I actually left this blank originally because I was so many books have prologues and epilogues, this won't be hard, and it wasn't that hard. I actually have filled in Known on the Ninth, and again, this is actually a 5-star rating. So we finally broken the curse of me only reading 3-star books. And I was really surprised by this actually, because obviously it's such a loved series. I gave the first book 4-star, and I gave the second book a 3-star, and then I gave this one a 5, and I'll take it. I did actually have, again, included in a vlog. The vlog won't be up yet. Spoilers for that. You'll be seeing my thoughts on it soon. But yeah, it comes down to the fact that I just didn't want to put it down. but also I wanted to stop reading it because I didn't want it to end. And I just really love that feeling. That's a great feeling to have when you're reading a book. And also it has a prologue and epilogue. Romantasy, I put in Paladin's Hope by T. Kingfisher, and so because the hard mode was an LGBTQ plus one, and this is a male-male romance, and I gave this a 4-star, I believe. This is actually the shortest in the series so far, and I was a little let down by that because I did enjoy their dynamic, but it is probably like one of my least favorite in the series. Maybe my least favorite, I'm not sure. Just because I feel like we didn't get as much as them. But it was very much a fun. In this one, she kind of like, they're in like this house that has like weird like puzzles that are trying to kill them. And I just thought that was very fun. So, and I just find her books very, especially her romances, very fun and humorous, and it was a good time. As I said, a 4-star. So then the next one that I have finished is Multi-POV. This I think has like 7. I did Google it and it does fit the hard mode, whatever it is, but it had so many. And I think I gave it a 4-star, but I've honestly kind of forgotten a lot about it. I think I only really cared about one character, and I was like, with all of these points of view and all of these people, like, why am I only caring about one person? Then the next one that I finished was a character with a disability. I personally went for Percy Jackson and the Wrath of the Triple Goddess, which, in fairness, I might actually switch this out if I find another book to switch it out with, because obviously, like, ADHD is considered a developmental disability and all that, but the ableism in this book, because, like, obviously Percy Jackson, like, I think it's such an important series for so many kids and all of that. Like, you know, the whole point was he wrote it for his son who, you know, had ADHD and dyslexia and, you know, was struggling with them. And he wanted to be like, well, you can have this stuff and be a hero and all of that. And just the way it was handled in this book, I'm like, there was a weird tinge of ableism, in my opinion. It very much was still treating Percy like, oh, he's stupid. He's stupid. He's stupid. And like there was no talk about any sort of like accommodations in his school or anything like that. And it felt very icky. And then Annabeth, I mean, it's like it's told multiple times, she's like ahead of her classes and she's amazing. And like there's no talk again of any accommodations for her. She's just that good that it doesn't actually affect her because she's just that good. Whereas Percy is an idiot. And like it just such a weird taste in my mouth. So I kind of don't want to include it for this prompt because I think it was pretty bad representation. But it does technically complete the prompt. Also like a weird kind of misogyny kind of thing, because like it was very much like Annabeth would be such a good mother. Well, in fairness, it was for both of them because there was multiple things about how the two of them would be such good parents, which they're 17-year-old characters. Or stop being weird, Rick. But like the mother thing really like, all right, yeah, trying to turn her into some sort of motherly figure, like it just was icky. Like, oh, she takes care of Percy. Like she tucked him in at one point, and the dog that Percy found, hellhound, whatever, despite the fact Percy found him and was like feeding him and caring for him, he calls Annabeth's mom because that's funny, because haha, she's a woman, therefore she's shown the slightest bit of care, therefore she's motherly. It was weird. I didn't like that book. I gave it 2 stars. I'm very disappointed by it. We're not going to talk about it anymore. For Orcs, Trolls, and Goblins, the hard mode I think was one of the main characters is one of these, and for this I read The Witness for the Dead by Catherine Addison. This is the spin-off series to The Goblin Emperor. I really enjoyed that. Totally recommend that for this prompt if you're looking for one. This one, as I said, it's a spin-off, and it follows a character who is a witness for the dead, which means he can kind of like touch someone who has like recently died and like maybe like see their last memories and stuff like that. And it kind of just follows his job, and like kind of like with the Goblin Emperor, it makes this like magical or like, you know, super important job seem very mundane, because like the Goblin Emperor, it's the day-to-day life of him running this empire, and like the very boring stuff. You know, like yes, there's a lot of like political maneuvering and all of this, but it's also just a lot of him sitting around and talking to people. And so it's the same with this. Like yes, it's this magical job where he can like kind of communicate with the dead, but he's just going around trying his best to help people. And I find it really interesting how she can make like this like really exciting stuff so mundane in a good way. And for author of color, I've put down The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. Again, another book I gave 2 stars. I haven't been having the best luck with books this year. It's not been a great year. Been basically I was bored is the bottom line when it comes to this. Survival, I think it was the hard mode was like there's no like super viruses or anything, pandemics or anything like that. And for this I went with How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying, because I thought it's basically the perfect one, because she's trying her best to survive. She's done a terrible job of it so far because she's on like life number 400, but we follow a character basically who has found herself basically trapped in like some fantasy world video game. She doesn't really know what's going on, but she has been told that she has to kill a Dark Lord, and she has tried and failed every single time, and she is, you know, trying her best to survive, and as I said, doing a poor job of it. She keeps dying, and so she basically just decides, you know what, if you can't beat him, become him. So she decided to become the Dark Lord. So yeah, I like this well enough. I thought the humor got a bit tired. 5 SFF short stories, and for this I'm going with Very Deep by Name Novik. I gave this a 4-star. Also, just because I don't say it in the video, I'm actually cheating with this spot because they don't want you to use one author's collection. They want you like to pick like an anthology with multiple authors, which I'm not doing that. And like I'm not actually submitting it, so I'm like, I'm doing most of the prompts like legit. You know, I'm trying my best to get them like really accurate, like actually the hard modes. But like this is the one that I'm like, you know what? It's not that deep. I'm not actually submitting it, so I'm allowing it. I have only actually recently read it. It's just a collection of short stories by Name Novik. There's one like there's 2 like from the Tamara universe. There's one from like the Deadly Education. There is her original short story version of Spinning Silver. It's very interesting to see, compare like how that started compared to like how it ended up as a full-length novel. A teaser for her next book, and then just like a couple of other kind of random ones. So it was really fun to read all those. Great time. Let's talk about the ones that I haven't done yet. First in a series, The Grace of Kings, that has stayed the same. Alliterative title, The Lies of Lockamora, that has also stayed the same. Entitled Animals, The Rage of Dragons, that has also stayed the same. Bards, The Warm Hands of the Emperor, that has also stayed the same. Then self-published or indie published, this I have actually added one in, and so that I've added in A Matter of Execution by Olivia and Nicholas Atwater. I think I think the hard mode was like less than 100 ratings or something like that, and this I think has like 70. Dark Academia, I've added a Dark and Drowning Tide, but I'm not sure this actually fits for the hard mode because I think it's actually just like a regular school, which I'm not sure whether this is like fantasy school, or I don't even think it's actually a school setting. I think it's just kind of like a study kind of a thing. So again, I might have to change that, but for now I've put it in just so I have something. Published in 2024. Again, this is one that I've added one in for. So originally I had nothing in here. I was like, I read so many 2024 like anticipated releases, and also I said that I was subscribed to Limerick, and they do a good few debut authors, and I think they have done a couple. But the one that I have actually put in now is The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. Published in 1990s. This is another one I left blank originally. And I think I'm going to be reading Northern Lights because the hard mode is the author is still publishing today. And so I think I'm going to do Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. I've never read it, you know? I'm not someone who reads old stuff. I'm so sorry if I've offended anyone. So I left it blank because I was like, I'll find something. But I'm not a big like classic fantasy girl. Finished Sabriel the day before this challenge started, and the second book in that series was 2001. So I was like, well, that's just lovely. And obviously I've read Robin Hobb. I've read the first book in like The Wheel of Time, but I didn't really love it. So like I think I have the audiobook from my library, so like it'll just be like a pretty quick listen. So I think I'm gonna go with it. Oh, space opera, again, I still haven't read this one, but this was one that also has not changed, and that is The Principle of the Moments by Esme Jacquemi Pearson. The book by its cover is Mistress of Lies, and because like it's literally like just judge a book by its cover. Like, don't know anything about it. And like I don't know about anything about any Limerick books when I get them. The Limerick one, I'll have to put a picture up. I'm too lazy to go get it, but it is beautiful. And set in a small town, and then I think the hard mode prompt was like, it's a fictional town but in the real world. And for this, I'm going to be reading the final book in the Luminary series by Susan Dennard, which I think comes out in is it this month? It's either this month or next month. Eldritch Creatures, I still actually have blank because I don't know what I'm supposed to be reading for that, really. Reference materials. I technically have Jade War down, but I think I actually might switch it out with Lightbringer by Claire Legrand because I'm almost finished that book, and that also has like, it has a load of like things to do with the Imperium at the back of the book, and I think it has more than 2 things, so I think I might actually include that. Final one is book club or read along, and again, I don't have anything because I refuse to go on Reddit. So 11 out of 25 is not great. Like, it's not terrible, but like I do definitely have to pick up the speed just a little more. I said one of these you can switch out with a prompt from a previous year, which I will do for either, well, it's probably going to be book club or read along book. But I could also choose Eldritch Creature. I haven't decided yet. I mean, Eldritch Creature is probably a good time to read that prompt now because it's spooky season. Wait, would a House for Good Bones by T. Kingfisher count? Because there was kind of a creature there. And let me know how you're getting on with yours if you're doing it. And yeah, because as I said, I need to, hopefully this will motivate me to actually like check this list. Like, girl, check the list. Make sure you're actually reading your stuff. Will I though? Probably not. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.